O Yahweh, open up you my lips, and let my mouth show forth your praise. Kuma, Yahweh, Wayaputsu o Yeveka, Wayanusa misanecha mipaniacha. Kuma, Yahweh, Wayaputsu o Yeveka, Wayanusa misanecha mipaniacha. Arise up you, O Yahweh. Let your enemies be scattered, and let those that hate thee flee from before thee. Let all of Yasharah, Yisrael, who love, worship, and praise Yahweh, give him thanks by saying Hallelujah.
I just found out the true name of Africa. A lot of people think it's called Alkebulan, but let's break down the word Alkebulan and its ethnic true origins, biblically and historically. King Bulan was Khan. He was a Hun. He was a Canaanite mixed with Japheth. That's not Shem. Shem's land is Africa. King Bulan led the conversion of the Khazars to Judaism. The Khazars were really a mixture, a hybrid of people consisting of Edomites, Canaanites, Judahites, Babylonians, Huns, Khazars, Slavs, and such, usually called the Phoenicians. King Bulan was the Khazar king who traced his genealogy back to Japheth's grandson Togmara, the ancestor of all the Turkish tribes, also to the Hittites and the Horites, more precisely. So the Huns, or the Khan, are a mixture of Japheth and Canaan. Noah fathered 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Shem is the father of the Israelites and the people of the continent of Africa. Japheth is the Europeans, and Ham is the Egyptians. Ham's son, Canaan, mixed with Japheth's son, the Mau people, and this is what became the Huns. According to Genesis 9:25, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be, and Japheth will dwell in the tents of Shem, Israel, and Canaan will be his servant. So the two of them mix together to become the Khan or the Huns. According to Zondervan's dictionary, Ham was the father of the dark races, the Egyptians, but not the Negroes. The Negroes are the African diaspora who are Israel. This term Ak is an alternate spelling of the Arabic word Ak, which means brother. It also means brother in Hebrew. Al at the beginning of Alkebulan also means the leader or the. In Alkebulan, we also have the word Anunnaki inherent in it. Okay, and the Anunnaki are a group of deities of the ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, Assyrians, Babylonians, and of course Phoenicians, all the same people mixed together. So who were the Anakim? When the Hebrews finished wandering 40 years in the desert, they had to spy out the promised land of Shem, which had been taken over by Canaan. And they found there fearsome giants who we will call Anakim. That's where the word Anak comes from. And this is how they describe the Canaanite Anakim. And there we saw the Nephilim, that is the fallen angel offspring, the sons of Anak, who come of the Nephilim. And we were in our sights as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sights. So Anak are Nephilim giants. And Anak was the father of Judith, wife of Esau, Edom, a Horite. Notice in Alkebulan, you have the word Baal. Baal is tied to Baal worship. He is the god, the lord of the flies, and he is also the name behind the word Lord, okay, which is not the name of the creator. Baal worship is human unaliving. It is also the fallen angels mixing with the seed of women, as in this picture here. And it is also new moon worship, and it is associated with Egypt and Osiris the bull, the Hamitic Egyptian god Osiris, who is the bull god. So we see he is the god of the underworld. He is called Usir or Osiris. Notice the word Seir, Mount Seir of the Horites, in the word Osiris. Osiris and Horus were the father of, quote, the sun. So Horus is associated again with the Horites. Also, he is the holy bull worshipped in Memphis. Memphis is Mitzrayim, is Egypt. So he is a holy Egyptian Canaanite god, not African. The K in Alkebulan is for calf in Hebrew, calf, which means light, open palm, or bend. And this is how Canaan's name is spelt, is with the same letter K. And of course, K is part of the word Khazar. And we know Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. So we have Al, the leader of the light of Baal and the seed of the Anunnaki. And we know Canaan stole the land of Shem and always calls it by his name. So Jubilees 10 and 29 says, Canaan saw the land of Lebanon to the river of Egypt, that it was very good. And he went not into the land of his inheritance, that is, to the sea. He dwelt in the land of Lebanon on the east side and west side of the border of the Jordan River, that is the border of the sea. So he dwelt in Shem's land. And so Japheth will dwell now in the tents of Shem in Shem's land, and Canaan will be his servant. Hence the con. So Canaan stealing the land plus serving Japheth and mixing with Japheth equals Japheth and Canaan dwelling in the tents of Shem and the land of Shem. Hence they called it Alkebulan. So that's not the true name. But I'm going to show you even more information to confirm to you that the eastern part of the continent of Africa is, in fact, also Evri-Key. But let's do a little bit of review so you can understand how this new information fits with the information I've already given you. Fast forward to 13 minutes and 30 seconds for the update if you don't want to do the review.
This strip of land from the Volta River in Ghana through Togo, the Republic of Benin, and southwestern Nigeria was known then and even now to the inhabitants as Evri-Key, or as we say in English, Everland. People who occupied this stretch of land were then and are still called Ever. This was the original name of the people who lived on this stretch of land from Ghana to Nigeria. You may not have heard the name Ever before, so let me explain it to you now. Our name is Ever, not Ewe. The name Ever is an ancient name that goes back thousands of years, and it is mentioned in the Bible. The name Ever is the true name of the ancient Israelites, and it began with Abraham in Genesis 14 verse 13. Ever. So when you insert the right word in Genesis 14 verse 13, it will read, and a fugitive came and told Abram the Ever. If you read the script from the Dead Sea Scrolls, you will not see the word Hebrew, but rather the name Ever.
So when we look at the word Evre in the pictographic Hebrew, it can be spelt with an ayin. In other cases, it could theoretically be spelt with an aleph at the beginning, but the ayin is this symbol we have up here. Then you have the B for house, which is also a V for ta. The ta is the tent peg, which the Savior is the tent peg that secures you. The B is the house. So you can, in either case, you can use the one above as the B or the one below as the V, because V and B are interchangeable in Hebrew. And then the last letter is the resh, which is like the son, the leader, the firstborn. So it's Evre or Ebre, Evre or Ebre in Hebrew.
Okay, so now you may be wondering, if the name of the Israelites is Ever, how did it become Hebrew? Where did the name Hebrew come from? The word Hebrew is an English rendering of the Latin word Hebraicos or Hebraic. That is the simple, straightforward answer. When the Romans took over as world rulers from the Greeks, they translated the Greek name Evri-Key or Evri-Key into Latin as Hebraicos or Hebraic. The name Hebrew is a derivative of the Latin word Hebraicos. Hebraicos and Evre are so far apart that you can't see any similarity between the two names. Nevertheless, this was now how Evre was pronounced in Latin.
So the word Nabia, Nabi, or Nabu, you can see up here, Strong's 530, means prophet. It's actually spelt Nabia, so Nun, Bayet, Yod, Aleph. So Nbya. You see, I've got it spelled up there. So when we look at Evenegeba, this is like prophets of Yah, but it also means something else. These were also the princes of Yah, and this is how it ties into the land. Strong's 5057. This is a ruler, a prince, a captain, leader, governor, noble, excellent things. So we know now that the princes were leaders. So we're talking about prophets and princes. We're talking about the house of Levi, and we're talking about the house of Judah. So when he says
Togo, the Republic of Benin, and southwestern Nigeria was known then and even now to the inhabitants as Evre-Key, or as we say in English, Everland.
it's clear that the prophets of Yah were Evri-Key, Nebus of Yah, prophets of Yah. But these were also the princes of Yah, most especially when we include the Bayet. That's the house. It's basically saying this is Yah's house of prophets. This is Yah's land. And this is how it ties into the land. Although they say there is a Negev region in so-called Israel today, believe it or not, there is a Negev region in Africa, of course, and I've mentioned it before. So today's region called Negev is the modern version of the original name Negeb. It's the reference to Negev in the Bible, but it's tied to the Ivrit, right? And so this Negev seems to have been located somewhere in an Egyptian colony and Canaan, but the exact borders are quite unclear. Negev can be pronounced Negev or Negeb, just like Abraham can be pronounced Abraham or Avraham. The V and B are interchangeable. In biblical times, this region was forested and appears to have contained a considerable human population, according to Jeremiah, and was spread out over the areas like Kadesh Barnea, Arad, etc., and Gerar, Zembath, these major regions of Israel. I've mentioned Mount Nebo in my live streams before, being the mountain of the Nabus, the prophets, and it may be the mountain where Abraham potentially, not sure, sacrificed Isaac. But it's also the mountain that Moses went to, and I briefly mentioned that as well. So Deuteronomy 34:1, Moses climbed Mount Nebo from the plains of Moab to the top of Pisgah, across from Jericho, and there Yahuwah showed him the whole land. What I found was Yahuwah said to Moses, go up this mountain in Abraham and look at all the land I have given to the sons of Israel. Numbers 27 and 12. So what is this Abarim? This mountain is also called the Mount of Abraham, or Abarim. So we're seeing the word Abarim again, Eber. Okay, how do we know that? It's called the Mount of Abraham in some translations, but let's scroll down and look at Mount Abarim. Let's take a look at it. First we go into it and we see Abarim. And so Abarim is Aleph, Beit, Resh, Yod, Mem. That sounds like Evrim, Hebrews. Abarim, the leader of the house, the first, the right hand of the waters of Shem, or waters above. This is called Abarim, the regions beyond a mountain range or of mountains on the east of Jordan in the land of Moab, opposite Jericho. Mount Nebo is part of this range. Okay? And so plural ranges of mountains. But when we look at the root word, we get even more information. When we look at Eber, what do we see? Eber becomes Eber. I've told you already, the V can be exchanged for the B. So this is the Eber range, or the Ivri or Eve range of mountains, meaning the region beyond or across, and that means to cross over the Jordan River. And so Eber or Ever or Eber, we can see very clearly here how the Ivri or Ibri can become Iber. You can see here in the greater breakdown at the bottom, it means Hebrews and Israelites, hence Hebrew Israelites. And this even has a root word, and it's Abar. Abar means a pass or a mountain pass, a place to traverse or pass over, or to be passed. Pass along, pass by, overtake. Once we look at Abar, we can look at the root word for Abar, and that is the word bar, Beit Resh. And that means clean, pure, choice, clear. We can further break that down to its root word, barar, Beit Resh Resh, or BRR, and it means pure, choice, the chosen, clean, clearly manifest, bright, purge out, polished, purified. Okay, so the purge, remember I talked about in my prophetic videos, the purge. Israel will be purged out of the wilderness and brought into the promised land. So this is truly the sons of Israel. Several years ago, I did a video on Mount Kenya possibly being where Jerusalem was, or even Mount Sinai or Zion. And that is because the Kenyans claim to have the ark and to be keeping it on top of that mountain. And they also claim to be Israel's priests and the descendants of Israel. And so this is the general range of Israel. But remember, please go and look at this video on the true location of Zion, because it is another piece in the range of this very high mountain range. Take a look at that video to find out where the true kingdom of Israel for the 1,000-year reign will be, as well as other geographical indicators of the fact that Africa is the true land of Israel. This is Yah's house of prophets. This is Yah's land.
Evri-Key, or as we say in English, Everland.
The Hebrew place of the Nebus and kings of Yah. Let me know what you think in the comments. Appreciate everybody who supports me. I'm pleased to be able to serve you guys, and I appreciate all of your support in the form of prayers and words of encouragement. And please, everybody, watch all of the videos all the way through so that when you make a comment, you make it with all of the information. Baruch atah, and praise Yah, and may Yah bless you and keep you and cause his face to shine on you. May he be gracious, lift the light of his countenance, and give you peace. And you can become a member on my website to provide donations, or you can pick up the calendar or the book on Hebraic lifestyle, which I think I'm going to do a video on coming up really soon, maybe this week. And then I'll finish the series on the land and prophecy and the kingdom a little later. But thank you so much for your support. Go to intoalltruth.net to become a member or to purchase the calendar or the cookbook. And then I also provide things for members. And the membership is an annual membership. that you engage with. Every year I provide you with an update on the materials, or I send you emails. So thanks again for watching. Like, subscribe, and share.